In my last video, I went over the nostalgia argument often brought up in regard to WoW Classic. I discussed the fact that despite being eager to revisit World of Warcraft's first iteration, I knew it would not give me the same feelings as the first time I experienced the game back in 2004. Tangentially, in this video, I want to focus on the way players communicated with one another back then and compare those methods to what we have readily available now. Online forums have existed for nearly as long as the internet itself has. In the early 2000s, forums were used as a way to congregate, converse, and discuss with individuals interested in similar hobbies or media. They were comprised of a multitude of threads ranging from topics such as tips, tricks, and guides, off-topic threads where you could discuss topics outside of the forum's main focus, welcome threads where new members could introduce themselves, and a variety of other places to spend time when you weren't playing the actual game the forum focused on. Some developers like Blizzard actually set up their own official community forums as a way to connect with the players and also tune into what the community is discussing at any given time. Apart from official and fan-made forums, a lot of guilds elected to create their own guild website for their members to get to know themselves a little better, as well as for more practical uses like setting up guild meetings and raid schedules. A lot of the fancier ones also had a chat room set up so you could shoot the shit with your guild mates outside of WoW. When voice communication was needed for more challenging content such as raids, Ventrilo and TeamSpeak were the go-to services. Ventrilo was available as both freeware and as a rented service with a rented server able to host 400 people. Both Ventrilo and TeamSpeak offered pretty clear voice comms for players despite the poor mic quality most users had back then. Aside from the more popular websites, services, and forums, there were of course IRC channels dedicated to WoW. Some people even elected to use AIM, MSN, or YIM to keep in touch with guildmates and friends they were close to, but even if you used all three of these services daily, it still pales in comparison to what we have available now. It's interesting to note that all the ways you could communicate with your fellow players and friends from WoW back in the day were all on a PC. Once you shut that computer down, that was it for the time being. For better or worse, you had time to walk away from the game to think, reflect, and plan. And of course time to yearn for that next play session. There was a disconnect from the game and your fellow players, even if it was only for that short time before you fell asleep in order to prepare for the next day's WoW session. I truly think this time was extremely important and integral to the emotional connection most of us have with this game. In those moments, the desire to continue playing and the images going through your mind of what is happening on Azeroth while you are offline was a motivating factor to play. Best in slot lists didn't really exist. No one knew optimal questing paths. The sense of discovery, newness, and for a lot of us, the wanting to play with the rest of our guild and discover things together were the reasons we fell in love with this game the first time around. Again, once you logged off and stepped away from your PC, you didn't know what was happening on Azeroth anymore. Friends and guildmates could be running a dungeon without any way to contact you and let you know that they could use your help. If someone was late or even a no-show for a raid and they didn't let you know beforehand, you'd be sitting around for over 30 minutes with no clue if they were showing up or not. Player blacklists reserved for undesirables such as ninja looters would usually be different from player to player, as obviously most of us encounter different people day to day. Those lists were often shared between guildmates as to avoid sending anyone on that list an invite to a dungeon or raid if a spot needed to be filled. The community did a very good job of policing itself through these means. Witch hunts were not allowed on the official forums, but as mentioned, undesirables would have a negative reputation which would make finding a group somewhat harder. Communication was definitely encouraged in Vanilla WoW. It was crucial to be at least social enough to seek out groups and find yourself a like-minded guild. Staying in contact with guildmates would potentially create new friendships and open up new avenues for you to progress. Our tools were limited, and communication outside of the game and away from everything available on your PC were virtually non-existent, but we made it work. Today we are all constantly connected to everyone and everything almost every second of every day. You are being bombarded by posts on your favorite Discord servers. Your phone lights up every 3 seconds from push notifications originating from Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook groups. You're constantly refreshing r/classic WoW on your phone every 5 minutes to see if a new blue post was added on the official forums. You're watching your favorite content creators on YouTube and Twitch while you're playing games yourself. You have a plethora of websites like Wowhead documenting everything from quests to soundbites found inside WoW. Forums still exist and have much better technology behind them, but I'd wager even the most populated and well-run forums have taken a huge hit after the rise in popularity of Reddit. A lot of the original magic and sense of discovery present in the game is trivialized due to how widespread and accessible information is to get now. Every quest has been documented. Every solution to every riddle that isn't new has been figured out. WoW's map has been scoured inch by inch. Every popular farming method, area, or material has 20 or more videos on YouTube dedicated to them. This is having an effect on players interested in playing WoW that obviously wasn't present when the game was new. I've seen countless threads from players completely new to vanilla WoW asking for the best race class combo and for BIS gear for every step of WoW's endgame. Min-max culture has seeped into every single game that has any sense of competition, whether it's PvE or PvP or both in the case of WoW. I truly do think social media culture has had a huge part in that. Everyone wants to be the best, everyone wants to share that they're the best, and everyone thinks they deserve an audience. On that same note, Twitch was obviously not a thing back when World of Warcraft first released. Whether you are a fan of watching streamers, are a streamer yourself, or you despise anything that has to do with streaming, you cannot deny the impact it has had on the video games industry as a whole. Big streamers are able to completely sway the opinions behind their massive following and also bring in a plethora of new players. They can also showcase high-level PvP and give new players tips, as well as provide insight on how to play your class efficiently during PvE encounters. Unfortunately, due to how much control some of these influencers have on their audience, streamers can easily start a witch hunt or have their following harass a certain player or players due to how World of Warcraft treats PvP on a PvP realm. Not to mention, a lot of people would love to roll on the opposite faction of their favorite streamer and gank them as soon as they set foot in a contested zone. Or at the very least, a streamer's audience may choose to all roll on one server just to appear on stream. Once that streamer stops playing, the server is dead, which obviously sucks for the rest of the server's population. For these reasons, a lot of the bigger streamers have already stated that they are planning to play on a PvE server. YouTube, in the same vein, has also exploded in popularity since the old days. Class guides, gold making guides, farming guides, and a plethora of other tip videos can be found with a quick search on YouTube. There are guides for each individual raid boss and their mechanics, speed farming tricks for raids. There are even guides for instances such as Ragefire Chasm, if you can believe that. This almost infinite amount of resources and guides were not being made during vanilla. You could not search Mage BIS guide and get results back in the day. Now a new player knows exactly what to upgrade and where to get said upgrade in 1/10 of the time it would take someone completely new to the game. In my honest opinion, that does take a large portion of the game away if you're completely new to WoW. I wouldn't focus on min-maxing everything if you're completely new. I also wouldn't use guides for every single little thing. Characters and their builds can be very unique to your playstyle. Using cookie-cutter talents to level or advice from your favorite content creator won't automatically make you a better player. Some of these people have been playing and theory crafting the game for the last 10 years. They know how things work, not just that they work. Long story short, enjoy the game the way you want to enjoy it. Just be wary if you're electing to play exactly how you're seeing content creators play on private servers. Now, enough of that, and moving on to what I think will be the most powerful tool for both good and bad: Discord. Discord provides a cost-free way to create and stay in touch with a community. With both voice chat and text chat available free, and the ability to download the PC client as well as a mobile app version of the client, you are able to constantly stay connected to your friends and guildmates. To demonstrate just how powerful a tool Discord can be, imagine the scenario I proposed a little earlier in the video. You log off for the night, turn off your PC, and start winding down. While you're relaxing before bed, you check your phone, pop into Discord, and check out what the latest news is for your guild or even your server as a whole, since I completely expect servers to have their own Discord. More on that later. You decide to check out your general chat, and it just so happens a few of your guildmates are running Strath and need another person to join. Just like that, you're sucked right back into the game, whereas in the past, you would have been none the wiser. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is for you to decide, but there are a few more examples I want to go over that have to do with Discord. As most of you know, vanilla World of Warcraft did not have a looking for group or looking for raid feature built into the game. Finding a group was done via in-game chat and its various channels. This is of course assuming you are not in a guild from the start and you do not have a dedicated group of friends you play with around your same level. Both of which, by the way, cut your time looking for groups down significantly, so I highly encourage you to do both if you can. Now, back to the server-wide discords I mentioned before. Imagine having in-game chat, a guild, friends near your level, and now a Discord dedicated to bringing people together from your server. Having that extra pool of players to pick from will dramatically decrease your wait time for dungeons. This is something that simply did not exist during initial release. Apply this to other things like having another place to sell profession materials, looking for enchanters with a certain enchant you want, checking to see if anyone needs any BOE blues you might have gotten, and you can start to see just how powerful a service Discord can be. All that being said, there can and probably will be some negatives. If we once again consider that server-wide discords will exist, it's only natural to assume that player blacklists filled with the server's most notorious undesirables will be posted and shared on these discords publicly. If your server is popular enough, and enough of the server's population is on this said discord, people on that list will face a huge uphill battle to do anything unless they decide to re-roll under a new name. Whether you feel that's right or not is up to you, but consider people who are wrongly put on the list, and then that list ends up being widespread information on your server. Witch hunts are going to be made much easier this time around if there is a public forum where everyone spreads information back and forth. Faction collusion could also come into play due to there not being any restrictions on who can join a server's Discord, which means battleground win trading, professions, or farming mafias, or any other form of collusion can run rampant if the server admins aren't careful. Social media is a powerful tool that can connect people from around the world that wouldn't be able to get to know one another any other way. I have met so many wonderful people through my Twitter, Twitch, and even YouTube. I wouldn't be able to bring you guys these videos every week without the use of social media. I think we live in an exciting time, and I'm cautiously excited to see how the game turns out with all these new tools we have to keep in touch. Just make sure all this information and connectivity doesn't end up ruining the game for you. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. As always, if you're new here, please consider leaving a subscription. I try to make a new Classic WoW related video every single week. For the rest of you guys, thank you again for all the support you've been showing me. My channel is growing really rapidly because of you guys, and I really do appreciate it. I'm going to try to stream here pretty soon. I just recently moved. I got my PC set up and my microphone set up, obviously, or else I wouldn't be able to make this video. But I do want to get back to streaming really soon. I'll probably have another poll up like I did before, so you guys can choose the game that I actually end up streaming. But I'll let you guys know more on that on Twitter. Please also give me a follow there if you want to stay up to date with everything I'm up to outside of YouTube. Other than that, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week.